All right, here with sporting legend Sonny Bill Williams. Sonny, Paul Gallen, why now and why this fight?
Yeah, that's the question that I wanted to ask him today, but unfortunately he didn't turn up. Um, why now after 3 years when we almost got it done? It was down to the final hurdle and he reneged and pulled out. But yeah, man, we're going to get it on now. So yeah, it's exciting.
Really seen you so, heated, a bit of animosity, a bit of attitude from Sonny Bill up there on the stage. Why that?
It just brings the lies that come out of this bloke's mouth. You know, the condescending, narcissistic lies that come out of his mouth, the way that he talks, the way that he speaks, it really just brings it out of me. I'm not a person, I feel like I'm a bit of a softie. I ask my kids, I'm a bit of a softie, but I think the reason why I was the way I was on stage is because that's the honest truth. I spoke some of my truths and it was nice. It would have been nice for him to be here, because I would like to ask him some of those questions. What actually happened 3 years ago? Why did you pull out? What have you been doing in the last 3 years? Why have you been copying phone calls about getting on sports enhancers? Why is there no drug testing in the contract? These are the type of questions I wanted to ask, generally. For someone that sits there and speaks about being the man and being this guy and being that, it's so great. The things that I've heard, and I'll say again, I've heard. It doesn't necessarily mean they're true, but sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire. So, if I'm inviting the boys around for a barbecue after training, but charging them $10 a head, kind of says a bit about my character. So, to sit here and have to cop criticism from this type of guy, I actually see it as a compliment. So, and that's why I think I was a bit heated on it.
What have you made of his comments about your character? He's had a bit to say over the past few months as well.
Yeah, past few months, past 10 years. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know how I treat others, and I know how I carry myself. There's no facade there. The way that he carries on, I think there's a bit of a facade there, So just how he carried on today by not showing up, that just shows that, for me, personally, I just see it as a little bit of the reality is he's not the A side in this fight. The reality is he had to, do as he was told for this fight to happen.
He's been going on about these 2-minute rounds. What's your thoughts on that?
Like I said, 2-minute rounds, 3-minute rounds. He's probably the one to ask about the 2-minute rounds, because he's fought 3 or 4 fights at 2 minutes. Was anyone jumping up and down about them? 3 years ago, when the deal was done, I think it was going to be 8 3-minute rounds, 10 3-minute rounds, whatever it was. Why has things changed? What have you done in the last 3 years? That's the questions that I think should be answered. Why is there no drug testing in the contract? That's the things for me that need to be asked. Not, I'm a tough guy, you need to do this, you need to man up,
Now, what about your last performance against Mark Hunt? Didn't go the way you planned. Do you think your sort of attitude, going into that fight, you're both brothers, think that sort of worked against you in that fight?
Yeah, I think so. And then, he was a seasoned vet. He started off slow, made me feel complacent, and then I got one of those punches, and I was like, wow, what was that, But, nonetheless, he was the better man on the night, and I always got much love for Mark. That's just how the fight game goes, I guess, you know what I mean? And for me, it was a mad blessing, because I had to do a lot of soul searching after that, and I realized that your sporting career only lasts for so long, and that was the cool thing. That was the blessing in that I had to step away from the sport,
Did you consider, retirement after that fight?
Yeah, well, that's what happened. I considered. I looked at it and I thought, well, this path has to end. But I still felt at that time that I had one more fight in me, and that's why we went to Paul. That's why I sent my guys to go speak. Let's get it done.
We saw you up there on the Gold Coast training with Jai McAllister. Explain that link up. What do you think you can get from training with Team Peptide?
I'm hoping you can get the goods, not just physically but mentally as well. I love his approach. And I think the link up happens, the connection there is through Ben Roberts. Ben Roberts, I played with him at the Bulldogs. And he's first cousins with Jai, and Taps is his uncle, obviously. So a couple of years ago, I was up at the Gold Coast just randomly, and he was at the same time. So he said, come, do some training. So we trained along Taps, and I loved it. It was tough. It was tough as hell. And I think when this fight came to me, I thought, man, how good it would be to spend a bit of time away from the family, get in the mindset, that kill or be killed type of mindset, because at the moment it's like I'm changing a nappy, doing school drop-off, putting the kids to bed. But going in here, in this fight, it's really a case of like, he's coming to knock my head off and I'm going to knock his off, so that's the mindset I want to get in.
One more, do you watch boxing? Who are your favourite fighters? Do you emulate your style off anyone?
Yeah, I love the big fights. Terence Crawford is special. I'm a boxing fan. I love the real big occasions. Like, for example, the Usyk Tyson fight. I love the tactics that they go on with, because it can make or break him. Yeah, like you look at Tyson Fury in that first fight. I almost felt like he won that first fight. I actually did. But his approach in that second fight didn't suit Usyk. Just trying to be a bull out of the gate. I think he needed to stay light and sharp. And, I love that, because at that high level, it's always one or two things that make the fight. So, look, Jai's got a massive road ahead of him, which is cool to see. I love him as his style technically as a fighter. There's many fighters, bro, out there that I love.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.